What's going on, YouTube? West Hobbies RC. So today we're back for part 6 of the Spitfire to Reno racer conversion. So we have gotten fuselage covered, tails covered, wings done. You've seen do the shear webbing and the balsa wood wheel wells. Got the motor mounted. We got the canopy taped off. Now I just need to go around on the inside and trim the tape up so we can finish acetoning all the green off to paint it black and see what it looks like. If it doesn't look good, we'll paint the outside, but I really don't want to do that. I really want to paint the inside so that way it doesn't chip and flake if it gets knocked into. We got the cowling mounted. Again, we got this prop on and the spinner on, but this is just an old spinner that I had. That's the same size as the one that I have coming. That'll be here in a couple of days. So now, the first thing we're going to do is we're gonna go ahead, cut the tape, get that ready to be painted. And then now that we got the cowling mounted, the most important part here is so we can take our pin striping tape. Bear with me for a second. I don't know what I did with it, but we're gonna take our pin striping tape. We're gonna measure the cowling, pull the picture up, we'll measure the cowling, get a good measurement on both sides, a good starting point. And we're gonna start on the cowling, and we're gonna run our pin stripe along the side of the fuselage and bring it down probably around here somewhere. I'll have to look at the picture. And that way, once we get that done, we'll do the other side, and that'll give us where this is gonna be silver, and then we could go through, cut the black off. So first thing we're gonna do, cut the tape, get that painted, and then we will start this stripe all the way down. So I'll be back as soon as I get the stripe done. So enjoy the time lapse of me getting the canopy green off. Sorry, I can't speak right now. And then when we come back, I'll explain with the tape how we're gonna do this. So be back. So I just got the canopy taped off, cleaned up, and then I ended up using the acetone and tried to get all the green off, and this is about as good as I could get it. It's not perfect, but we'll go ahead and paint it and see how it looks. We can always tape off the outside and paint the outside if we have to, or worst comes to worst, I can always make a mold of this canopy and pull my own. We'll see, but it should look good. We're going to be using some of this quick color gloss black old cheapo spray paint from Home Depot, and I just used regular acetone to clean it off. Do it at your own risk if you're going to try, because you can ruin the actual, if you see it's kind of whitened out. So I'm hoping that it'll look good when it's painted, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and get this painted and we'll see what it looks like. So just got the canopy painted. Not all that happy with it. It looks okay. You can still see some of the green bleed through on certain areas, like on the bottom edge. You can see it there and there and around the window where I didn't get enough tape off. So I think I'm going to tape the outside off and paint the actual outside. That way, if it does scratch up a little bit, you won't notice it as bad, but that little bit of green is gonna drive me nuts. It does look good on the airplane, so at least that looks good, but you could really see the green around. So I'm really not that happy with it. So I'll do that. But I also went ahead, measured off center line of the cowling, went down 1.5 inches, went as close to the picture as I could, used some of this masking pinstripe, and I got a rough outline done. So now I can take paper, make a template, and that's gonna be about the silver outline there. I have some green vinyl showing up tomorrow, so I can do the green pinstriping as well. But now I'll go ahead, cut the pinstriping here. That way I can pull the cowling back off, leave this stripe on, and then I'm going to get the paper template made, and that will let me duplicate it for the other side. And then I will go ahead, measure down about 1/2 inch and put another line, and then take my wood burner. You can use a soldering iron, and I'm going to cut the covering all the way down, and that way I can peel all this black back off, and that will let me get the silver put on. So I'm going to start doing that, set the time lapse up, and get the silver done. paper template here, sharp X-Acto knife, cut it out, and then here we use our heat gun to peel the black away. So what you guys just seen in the time lapse was cutting the silver for the bottom. I ended up making a template out of paper. This is just regular printer paper, marked it out, copied to the contour of the red line, so that'll line up good there. And then for the other side, we'll just flip it, and that'll give us the other side of the fuselage. So I went ahead and measured a 1/2 inch down roughly. It's not perfect, but it's just a rough cut. And took the X-Acto knife, made a really light score. So when you're cutting covering, you can use an X-Acto knife, but you have to be super careful. I don't like to use this on doing like cutting the covering away for, you know, elevators or anything like that, because you can actually score the wood, which entails can make it weak. You can break, I've seen elevators snap completely in half because somebody pushed too hard when they were cutting the covering off. So I always use a wood burner or soldering iron or something for the stab and rudder. But for this, I just used a X-Acto knife, real lightly, cut it away. Then I used my heat gun, as you could see in the time lapse, and heated it. It let me peel it all off at one time, or not one time. It came out pretty nice, right? This is, I guess, from the factory. This is extra glue that they add for the covering, because the covering sticks really good right here. So I guess that's so when you coming around this curve, you can get a real nice curve. But anyways, so we got one side done. We're gonna go ahead, lay the silver, get that done, peel the tape, and then do the same on the other side. And then hopefully later today, the green will be here and we can do the pinstripe down for the green. So I'll be back. Working with this silver can be pretty difficult. So we start with the edge and just keep working our way little by little, pulling it tight till we get it no wrinkles, which we did. Cut slits in it, make it go around. It came out perfect. I'm super happy. All right, so this is what one side looks like. We have not done the other side yet, but I just set the wing on here real quick so we can see how it looks. I think it came out looking pretty good. The back's a little different in the picture, but it's close enough. We have it sweeped up. Now next we'll have to slide the cowling on, have to reprime it and finish the line up. But as you can see here, let me grab the cowling for a second. I still have the tape line. So I'm gonna leave this line here, sand it, and then I'll put the line back, but that'll give us the line all the way up to the nose, curves down, and then follows the contour. And then, put that down. The green showed up today. So I ordered some of this green vinyl on Amazon. It's the high gloss fluorescent green. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. I'm thinking about 1/4 inch up from this silver line. So I'm gonna follow 1/4 inch all the way across. And then I'm gonna make I think 1/4 inch green stripe. I'm gonna start with that first, see what it looks like. But then I'm gonna come through and lay a green stripe to follow the line all the way across. We're gonna have to do something with the canopy. Probably gonna have to line it across the canopy a little bit. I'm gonna have to look at the picture some more. So I may have to, depending on what the gap looks like between the canopy to the green, I may end up having to put the green stripe on this line and then come back with another black stripe underneath of it. I don't know yet. I'll figure that out when I get to that stage. So now let's cut a 1/4 inch stripe. Let's see what it looks like. And then we'll go ahead and cut the other silver piece to go on the other side. And then that part of the fuselage will be done. And then we can start with the black that goes on the wing right here on both sides, and then the green layout through there. So Dad's RC hanger commented on the third part and asked about the lights, if I was gonna put lights in it. As of right this second, no. But I can always come in and put the lights throughout the wing. There's 2 spotlights and then the tip lights. I can always do that. What's nice, if you can see it, is the aileron hatch and the flap hatch. I can access all the way to the leading edge. So I could always run the lights afterwards. They may happen, but right now I just want to get the basic of it done. I want to get it flying because the next project after this one, I'm really excited about. You guys should be too. It's going to be another airplane project. Of course, we're still going to have helicopters throughout these series, but it's going to be another airplane project and it's going to be another Reno racer. But that's all I'll say for now. So let me go ahead and get the green stripes cut, and we'll be back to see what it looks like. All right, so we took the vinyl and we cut 1/4-inch strips, 3 feet long. And we measured 1/4 inch from the silver line all the way down, and we just went ahead and laid our stripe all the way down, curved back up and around. Now the canopy does cover a little bit, so whenever I go to repaint this, because I am going to repaint the outside, I'll just take a little bit of green vinyl and I'll just mark off here, or I'll trim the canopy a little bit. There's plenty of room, so I might just end up trimming just a tiny bit off so it doesn't interfere with the stripe. But all in all, I think it looks halfway decent. It's gonna definitely look, it's gonna look good. I can't wait to see the green, all the rest of the stickers on, the green 18, the green one of a kind on the cowling. We still have to, like I said previously, we still have to do the black trim here. And of course, we still have to do, which this is next now, we're going to go ahead, lay our template up, get this cut out, get the silver put on, get that part of the green stripe done. Then we will have a pretty much completed airframe, and we can start on the cowling, which we'll do in this video as well. So I'm going to get to work, I'm going to get to doing the other side, and we'll be back when it's done. Alright, here we are. So we got the fuselage done on the right side, which is what we were just working on. So we got the silver put down, we got the green put down. I also trimmed the canopy, which I got to trim it just a little bit more, but that way it follows through with the green. We got the 18s put on the fuselage. We still have to use a heat gun and get these little bubbles out. That's not a big deal. We got it down here a little bit. So we got to do that still. But we got the green done on the right side as well. Spin the airplane around here. Spin it this way. Sorry, hold on. And we have it done on the left side. So 18 is done on both sides. The green stripe is done as well as the silver. So now what we got to do is we need to make a template to do the black that goes here, and then get the green inlaid in that. So we have to do that still. But next we are going to go ahead and get the cowling put in primer, and then mount it back on the airplane. Use the heat gun to get this. Little tip for you guys if you're working with vinyl or stick-on monocoat. Use a heat gun after you apply it. Just heat it up nicely, push it down real good. That will activate the glue in the vinyl and make it stick really, really well. So we'll get the cowling put in primer, we'll get it put back on, screw it back in place, and then that way we can finish the lines out. So we still have to tape it off from here to here. Now if you hold on 1 second, give you a nice good look at the airplane while I grab the cowling. So if you look, you'll notice I marked cowling dead center. Of course, that was the first thing I did before I started the templates for the sides. So we have the cowling marked. We also have these 2 tape lines, and those tape lines are the exact height of where the silver is here. So if you noticed in the time lapse, you'll see me peeling. This is just pinstripe masking tape. So now this, when it goes back on, will match there. So now we know that from this line down is silver, and we know in between is going to be black with the green stripe, and we're going to measure the same. We're going to do a 1/4 inch, just like we did from here. We did 1/4 inch gap all the way down to follow the green line, or in between the green and the black line. So we'll do the same here. So after we get this primered, we're going to do a base of silver. I'll try to get some Rust-Oleum aluminum, I guess is what I'm going to try to go with, to try to match the covering as best as possible. So I'm going to paint the whole thing in silver or aluminum or whatever I can find that matches the covering the best. And then I will go ahead and retape these lines once I put the cowling back on, and then we'll paint all black. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to paint or use the green vinyl. I do have, hold on 1 second, some of this Duplicolor engine paint. And it is Gobbler green, I believe. So it's a Gabbler green, and it is a very fluorescent green, but the can cap looks pretty close. So I'm gonna do a test piece because I know it's gonna be darker than what the cap shows. So it might not match identical. We will see. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a test piece, and if that doesn't look right, then we'll go ahead and just do the vinyl and then clear over the whole thing. We still have to add the one of a kind, which will be added halfway on the cowling and halfway on the fuselage. So we're gonna go ahead, get the cowling and primer, and I'll be back when we're ready to spray. Sanding the cowling here, started with 220 just to scratch up the surface, and then where the line was from the two colors, I went back with some 120 to get that edge down, then back over it with 220. I'm using 120 here, then 220, clean it off, ready for paint and primer. Alrighty, so we got the cowling and primer. So as you've seen from the time lapse, I was just sanding it down, scuffing it with some 220 and then 120. Then back to 220 to get the deeper scratches out, but it's all in filler primered. So I just used some of this Rust-Oleum filler primer. I use this on all the stuff to fill in any of the imperfections that you get from scratches. Works good. It takes a little longer to dry because it's a thicker coat, but still works good. So we're going to go ahead and take some of this Rust-Oleum metallic finish. It is an aluminum, supposedly color, so we're going to spray a test piece to see how it looks to there. I'm not sure. I may try going with the chrome instead. I don't know yet. But, so we're going to go ahead and sand this out and get it ready for base. But then I went ahead and my wife finished the rest of the decal so we can get that done. We got the VP Racing, we got the Rolls Royce, the one of a kind, we got the numbers, which are hard to see for the tail. We got the 18, so we can get the 18. The two 18s go on the wing, one on the top, one on the bottom. This 18 goes on the cowling up here. And then the one of a kind, of course, goes on the cowling. That one goes on the cowling. These two go on the gear doors. The VP Racing, these bigger ones go on the rudder, one on each side. Oh, shit, knock that over and scratch it up. These two go down here on the numbers. So we're going to go ahead, get this wet sanded and ready for base color. So we're going to spray the whole thing in this aluminum first. And then the bottom, we're going to tape it off, and the scoop will be painted black with a green stripe. And then we will go ahead, set the cowling on, screw it on, and tape it back off, paint the black. And then we're going to lay the stickers on and then clear the entire cowling. So it's going to go ahead, let's get it wet sanded, let's get it done in a base silver and see what it looks like. Be back. Alright, so we got the base silver put down. And now we went ahead, screwed the cowling back on, taped the lines back off. So now we're going to go from here down, we'll tape it all off. This will be black. And then we'll tape the scoop off and paint it black. And then we'll lay the same green stripe across. So now I'm going to go ahead, finish taping it off, get the scoop taped off, and then we will lay the stickers and paint the clear coat and see how the cowling looks. It's a pretty close silver. It's not perfect, but I think when it's cleared, it'll look pretty good. So we'll see what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead, get the rest of it taped off, get it painted black, and we'll see how it comes out. The VP sticker here and the numbers on the bottom, and then doing the 18 on the wings. Make sure you measure them. All right, so the spinner came in the mail. It's a Gator RC flow through, 82 millimeters, 3 1/4 inches. So it is a slotted spinner, which will allow air to get through. The reason why I went with this spinner, my buddy Jason, he runs this spinner on his Phoenix Strega, said it keeps the motor nice and cool. The other issue that I was having was there is no air to go to the motor. So you have the ESC that is bolted, well, I will bolt it down here, and there is absolutely no airflow over the motor and or ESC. There's that scoop on the bottom of the cowling, but it goes to nothing. So I'm gonna figure works for him. I'll try it. We'll see how it does. But we have, of course, got the fuselage finished up for decal set. We got the VP Racing. We got the numbers underneath of it. But the most important thing is we have the cowling done. So the cowling is still drying. It's a little tacky, but it's pretty dry. But we got all the decals laid. We got the scoop painted. We got all the black done. I think it came out really good. I am extremely happy with the cowling. I think it looks perfect. So we're going to let this dry up, and then we will go ahead and we're going to mount the ESC and all that stuff. But once this, we're going to let this dry up first, and then we're going to go ahead and mount the the little engine exhaust mock-ups. So let's get that done. After this dries, we'll get the cowling put back on and see what it completely looks like. All right, got the gear doors done. There's one. There is the other one. We also, let's set the doors aside for a second. We also got the struts done and painted black on both sides. Left the centers still silver so they can, work as the strut. I showed in another part painting the wheel black. So there's the wheels are black. Struts are painted black. Everything goes inside like it should. The gears sit pretty much flush. They stick out a little bit, but I can't lower them anymore. That's it. The wheels touching that's the top sheeting of the wing. I went as low as I could. So it does go all the way down. The gear does lock. Both of them, they lock down, they lock up. So now the gear itself is finished. We'll do the gear doors last. I just got done clear coating them, so I'm going to give them a couple days to harden before I go ahead and put them on. Same with the struts. But now we're going to go ahead and put the cowling back on, test fit the spinner, and we will be done with this part. And on the next one, we will start adding all the servos. So let me go ahead and get the cowling on. Let me get the spinner mounted, and let's see what it looks like. So here is it stuck together. We got the cowling mounted back on. Canopy just sitting there. I gotta try to find another pilot. I don't know if I have one, if I'm gonna have to get one. I may just glue the canopy on for now. Take it back off when I get a pilot later. We'll see when we get there. But we still have to do the black and green trim on the wings. But the cowling looks great. I'm extremely happy with it. We have the spinner put on. That is the flow through. As you can see, we'll be getting air through the spinner into the motor to keep the motor cool. We got the 14x14 prop on. We're gonna paint it black with yellow tips to give it a nice look. We still have to add the exhaust stacks. Got the green stripe put on the scoop. But so far, this is what we look like. It came out really good. I'm extremely happy with it. Huge thank you to my wife for making all the decals. Give you guys a look at the other side while I roll my chair around. But everything came out perfect. Everything lines up like it should. So I think I'm going to end this part off here. And then next, we will go ahead and start getting all the servos mounted. First, I will do the black on the wings, get that done, and then we will start mounting all the servos in the next part. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this series. Stay tuned for the next rebuild, or not rebuild, but the next build series. It's going to be another Reno racer, another ARF. We're going to convert it. So if you guys like this one, you should like that one. But here is one of a kind. Oh, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Have a great day.